My Big Break Almost podcast. This week, we're going musical with a superstar, Rafael Moreira.
You're getting really good at that name.
Yes, I am, after saying it this many times.
Yeah.
Spells it with an R, pronounces it with an H. Doesn't matter, because this guy is amazing playing guitar. If you've listened to any music, chances are you've heard him play. Just like that.
Mm-hmm. Air guitar. That's my air guitar. Sounds more like, maybe it looks more like a ukulele.
You know,
it's about my size.
It sounds a little different than the air ukulele, but it's very finite. You really have to pay attention to it.
If you're quiet, you can hear it.
Crickets. Rafael Moreira coming up right after this. I love how he has the guitars just on each side.
It's everywhere here, man.
I want one. I want one on my wall.
Which one do you want?
Oh, the red one. The red one.
And if not, maybe I can just put like a triangle behind us or something.
Yeah, there's a couple red ones there. You're going to have to pick.
Okay. I've got my eye on it right now.
So how many guitars do you have?
I don't know exactly. It's a weird number. I never really thought about it.
You've never counted your collection?
Not exactly, no. Maybe 50, 60 right now. I used to have more. It's hard to maintain all of it because I like the guitars to be played, and but there's some guitars that I keep as a sentimental sort of value instrument, not so much for the day-to-day recording or if I wanted to take it out and play.
So which one to you holds the most sentimental value?
You're probably not going to see it here today. Yeah, there's one guitar that I got as a gift. It's an incredible instrument. It's a 1956 Gibson Les Paul. And it was a gift. I was doing a TV show in New York with a Japanese artist. Her name is Utada. And she's gigantic in Japan, 50 million albums. And she's amazing. And her dad is her manager, but he's an old musician. He loves guitar. And he's like, he really liked me. And we're talking about music and guitars and vintage instruments. And I told him that most of my guitars were provided to me by Gibson, and they're all replicas of the 50s, but I didn't have any real, because I wasn't an investor or anything. I just need really good instruments. And it's like, oh, okay, hold on. And he looked at some of the guys in suits that were there working for them and just nodded, and they just brought this guitar and gave me as a gift. It was weird. I kind of said to him, Mr. Teruzane, I don't think I can accept this, but you got to accept it. When somebody gives you a gift in Japan, like, you got to say yes. Especially he's got tats, and you never know. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah. I'm just wondering, as far as the, I guess you're playing, or I guess the level of playing that you do, can you play all different string guitars? Like, I know that there's like 6 strings and 4 strings. I don't know a whole lot about
Sure. Well, there's 6 strings, 7 strings, and sometimes 8 strings for more darker music, metal, and then there's like mandolin and ukulele and cavaquinho, which is a Brazilian instrument with 4 strings, like a ukulele vibes. I can play a little bit of everything. It's like it's part of my universe. I specialize in electric and acoustic, nylon, steel string, and you try to be a little bit like water when you're talking about doing this kind of music work I've done in the past, because it's very demanding. It's a wide range of styles, and so you try to be like water a little bit.
Did you start out with the acoustic? Is that how you started
Yes,
playing? Okay.
I did. My mother's a songwriter. She's a piano player and also plays guitar. So when I was little, me and my older brothers, we had lessons with my mom, and she would put me with like two little girlfriends of mine, like 3, 6 years old. They were actually my girlfriends in different times of my life, as you know. So funny, right?
You've had a lot.
Just it's just a title when you're 6 years old. Oh, you got a girlfriend.
Uh-huh. And more than one, it sounds like.
No, in different times. I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
That would be funny, right?
Yeah.
For you,
Your
maybe
mom
not
would be
them.
proud. You got plenty to choose from.
So my older brothers were in different classes, but yeah, we learned very young, and we were exposed to music at a very young age. It was so much fun, you know.
We are with Rafael Moreira, and we are talking about his dating life and guitar in between.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
He likes long walks on the beach and candlelight dinners.
And blondes.
One or two at a time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, looking at, there's resumes and then there's resumes. And you have one of the most extensive resumes I've ever seen. And for just typical people listening to music, oh, that sounds great, I like it, unless you hear a solo. We don't always have the keen sense of ears to know this person is amazing. But when you have the resume you have, this speaks volumes for the talent that you possess as a guitarist. So how does it feel being literally one of the best guitarists in the world because your resume says so?
Man, because I have knowledge of guitar players, and I grew up with so many incredible guitar players. Absolutely, I don't feel that way. Like I'm that, because I'm a huge fan of so many people, and I just don't compare myself too much with anyone, and I don't believe in comparing guitarists or anything, or even athletes. I think everyone has their own colors and their own vibes, and everyone has their own space. I'm flattered if somebody says it, but I don't feel it. I don't feel that way. Obviously, I find beauty in every person, any artist's work, and but I'm flattered. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, it's something I dreamed of as a little kid, listening to incredible guitar players, especially the radio back in the day, like in the late 80s and 90s. There's so much guitar solos, and so fun, So it's interesting. It's interesting to be a guitar player now as well, because things have changed. So
you can't be really on MTV any longer and play music. You're now on Spotify and iTunes, and
yeah, it's strange. Now we have all this. We have all this little windows where everybody sells their little thing, and everybody has a window. It's too many windows, man. It's like
everybody has a podcast. What's up with that?
No, I do love podcasts. I love talking about things and experiencing. So thank you for having me here.
It's our honor, for sure.
Yeah.
I was going to ask him, I've heard you've done a few podcasts. Have you ever done one video-wise?
I've done one recently, and we talked about doing it again. Yeah, I've done one before.
Okay.
And we're actually doing it again in April, so we'll see.
Wow.
It was more of a music guitar thing.
Okay, so it was actually from someone who's just particularly only on music.
It's a general thing. It's not only music, but I like everything. I like talking about things. Have a chat about general, specific. It doesn't have to be specific.
That's great.
I like having conversations.
Musical knowledge on all of us. And before we are wowed by some of the names that have chosen you to work with them because of your talent, the show, My Big Break Almost, does go into a little bit about maybe some of the auditions or jobs or performances that somebody thought was going to be it, and it turned out not quite. Maybe it was a small stepping stone, or maybe it wasn't their big break and something else came later. Did you have any of those that kind of come to mind that you thought, oh, I thought this was it, but it turned out it wasn't? This was it.
Interesting question. You know, I always go back to the beginning of it all. You know, if anything, it was the opposite. I thought it was going to be one thing, and it was actually something better.
Really? So it was even better. So what's an example, I guess, maybe in your early career that was a big stepping stone that you didn't expect?
Well, I got a call from a friend. He was in my, the music school I went to, and he called me from a paid phone from school. Say, hey, Rafa, short for Rafael. Hey, Rafa, I just heard there's an audition at SIR, which is a music, it's like a rehearsal space, and that everyone rehearses at. And so I went down there just to see what it was, and then I ended up getting an audition with Christina Aguilera, which led me to do SNL with Christopher Walken, more cowbell.
That is the best.
That's one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Were you there when they did that particular skit?
I was in the green room because we were performing. Christina Aguilera was the performing artist on the show. And so we're kind of watching the whole thing and performing at the same time. And we're at the end, we're there, I was there with everyone, saying goodbye. And it went over my head, I was a bit younger then. And, I didn't grow up with SNL because I grew up in Brazil, but it was huge. It was such a weird thing, to be a part of that. So I had no idea.
That is great. So you had a chance to see Will Ferrell's hairy stomach and chest in person. Boy,
well, yeah, we were watching it. The skit, yeah, live. And that was a really cool thing. I had no expectation other than play with a huge artist at the time, which was great for me. I wasn't expecting to be a sideman at the time because I wanted to be in a band, in a rock band. We all want it, but I was an all-around musician. I was playing at a local place in LA called the Baked Potato, which all the jazz guys, all the studio musicians play to this day. And it's awesome. It's like you get to see the best of the best play at it's such a cool little spot. And so I started to play there, my own music. So I get a call to get it, to have a chance to tour, and that happened. So it was huge for me,
Do you know if she handpicked, the people that she wanted to play for her?
It wasn't her, to be honest. She wasn't that involved.
Okay.
It was the musical director that was involved, and her A&R person, which was a huge executive at the time. His name is Ron Fair. He's involved in a lot of the decision making into the artists that he worked with. So for me, it was really cool. One cool thing about this is the musical director at the time. I still work with him. I recommended him to work with Paul Stanley from Kiss, which I work with now.
I love that name. I love the name Paul Stanley.
I wanted to bring it up because you guys are...
I know, right? We're just getting a million.
Yeah, thank you, Rafael.
But at the time, this guy was the musical director for Christina Aguilera, and he's from Rome, Italy. And his father was the guy that whistled in all the spaghetti Western movies.
I lost an earpiece from that.
We're laughing.
No, it's really amazing. This guy's a good friend of mine, and we're huge friends, to this day. And I just didn't know what I was walking into, We're still friends. He's the one that called me to audition for Pink, which I worked with for 5 years, which was an amazing thing as well. But, there's a lot to talk about. I don't want to over.
Oh, well,
oh, no.
You can keep us as long as you want.
You mentioned literally two of my favorites, Pink and Christina Aguilera.
And Pink was here I want to say a couple of years ago, at least within a few years.
We're in Oklahoma, so she must have gotten lost. on her way to LA.
I love it.
Decided to do a concert here.
That's amazing. She's amazing.
Oh, I've heard her shows are yeah,
unbelievable.
She's a great artist, great performer. She knows her thing. You know, she knows who she is. It's very important.
Now, do you work with a lot of artists that do know their niche, or have you actually experienced some artists that kind of in a way struggle just because their hands are tied?
I think I've worked with a lot of artists that knows who they are and what they want to achieve. And I've worked with artists that are so talented that they're kind of like, they're just not hands-on. They just let everybody takes care of it.
Yeah.
I like the artists that are hands-on. They are there early on in the rehearsals. They want to be a part of it, everything, and we become closer as people too. I like that a lot. I don't want to name anybody, but
no.
Pink is more involved than most of the pop divas, the so-called divas that we, know and are incredible.
Yeah.
Just some people don't get down to the business. It's so fun to be involved. As a guitar player, sometimes if you're doing a lot of things, we have technicians to take care of our instruments. We don't carry them, there's people to do that for you. But I still like getting my guitar, maybe changing the strings. It gives you this proximity with your instrument. It's a very cool thing. It makes you play better.
I can understand that.
Humble and hands-on. That's why he is one of the best, because you start from the ground floor up. Now, we'll stay on Pink just for one more moment, or we can switch to, again, the best name ever, Paul Stanley. But when you're traveling on tour, what is it like for those of us that have no clue what it's like behind the scenes in the preparation? What's it like when you go on tour?
It's not as exciting as you would think. Let's put it this way. It's not 1982, because I wouldn't know, but I was too young then, but I know, and I heard it was crazy, but it's not like when you're on tour and you know the music, it's like, okay, you got a couple of hours during the show, and that's what you do. And before that, it's like you do what you want, but I try to stay positive. I did a tour with New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys, which was really cool and fun. I never worked with a boy band before. And it's funny, man, because there's a lot of women. I mean, I'm saying it's a lot of girls every
see you, right? And those other kids just got in the way.
I wish, but there's the 8 guys out there. They're way cooler than me, and every now and then they're kind of, oh, who's that guy? But yeah. But anyway, I found out that Brian from Backstreet Boys was a huge fan of ping pong. He found out I play pong. I have a table at home, and
I went upstairs.
I do this like it's a hobby of mine. So every single show, Brian and I from Backstreet Boy would go at it and spend an hour or two playing pong. So you got to find things to do. You can find good things, or you can get into bad habits. I mean, it's your choice.
So who won most of the time? Who's the better pong player?
He wouldn't say it, but he pointed.
I mean, gotta be nice, Brian's a good player. Brian's a great player, but I'm
not good enough.
Let him have it a little. I'm not gonna be.
What are some of the again, I'm going to name drop here for you, because it is a who's who, and I can't remember them all, so I'm going to cheat and look at some of the lists that I've made. Don Felder from the Eagles, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. I'm a huge fan. Stevie Wonder, who doesn't love Stevie? And then in Oklahoma, Blake Shelton, who's an Okie. So that's cool. I mean, and then you go Dave Navarro, who called you one of the greatest guitarists ever in the world, to Sheryl Crow, Melissa Etheridge, Tommy Lee. I mean, this is a wide variety of music. You're not just sticking with one genre. You're all over the place. What's that like?
It's exciting. I mean, all these names are people that I've had a chance to work with in different capacities, you know. Some of them I toured with, some of them I've done a couple of TV shows with. And you got to play the part. You got to, as I said in the beginning of the interview or our conversation, is that you got to be a little bit like water and sort of molding to things. I mean, it's hard to be a master of it all, and I'm certainly not. But all those different styles, you know, I'm very open to how it should feel versus be just one thing, you know. And I like it all. I like all this artists that you named. I mean, Stevie Wonder. I mean, it's incredible. And Blake is amazing. I worked with him on The Voice for 2 seasons, and he's a great guy, man. He's a great soul and super funny guy, you know. Every one of them I have a different experience with, and for 99% of the time, it's always been positive. You know, it's always once in a while there's a bump on the road. You just got to go around it, you know.
Well, I'm curious, since you said that you worked on The Voice, how does that compare to, you know, being live? Does it seem like you're kind of feeling a little fake? Because I don't know, to me, whenever it's TV, it's almost like you got to put on this persona, you know,
Yeah.
maybe an elevated version of yourself.
You know, so we play everything live. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 things to think about. When you're doing television, some of us get exposed, some of us you don't see. And I always had a chance to sort of perform along with, you know, the contestants. It's something that I've done since the Rockstar TV show on CBS. I get a chance to go out and perform live, and it's double duty, you know. There's a camera on you. You have only one take, and I simply love it. I love to improvise and make it. I can't say that about myself, but some people might say that I'm possibly make it look easy. I don't know, but it's pressure, you know, because I know that there's guitar players watching it and judging you, you know. It's different than the contestants. That's the big audience looking at a singer. But it is a lot of work. You got to know all kinds of music. You got to know like 20 songs. And you got to perform with very little time. When you go on tour, you do a tour for 2 months and it's the same material. On a TV show like that, you do 20 songs every 3 days. How do you remember it? How do you retain it? How do you make it look like you're on a DVD a DVD, you know, you probably tape it after a month of touring. So you get a lot of chance to experience and ease it in. On TV is like, you got to be quick, you got to be fast and make it look easy. So it's a different, some people you won't see, they're sitting down musicians reading.
Oh, really? Well, I was just curious on the live shows that you've had to do. I mean, I know you probably made mistakes, but is there like a certain time where you were just like so off that day and every single song there was just a missed chord or a wrong one?
Where the guitar broke right in the middle of it?
No, I don't think I ever had a meltdown on TV or one of those days that nothing goes right. But yeah, there's so much pressure. There's politics and drama, but you know, sometimes that fuels you to be better. And I'm a fiery guy, you know, I love playing rock and roll and taking solos. So I just channel all that into playing music and making it better, you know.
That's impressive.
It's not as easy as I might make you think.
Yeah. Still, it is really impressive because it kind of takes that mindset, and just certain people just can't really deal with that overwhelming pressure.
And I can see where, from the outside looking in, it seems like you're almost caught in the middle because, you know, a lot of times you can get the divas, guys or girls, and you have to listen to them direct, do their tantrums or whatever they want to do, and you're ready to go, and you still have to shine, but not shine too much. So do you feel like you're caught in the middle at times?
Oh my God, you nailed it. You totally nailed it.
Good.
Well, there's one thing that helps me in those situations. I wasn't the musical director in those situations, in those situations, you gotta give your attention to the judges, to Christina, Adam, Blake, 100%. I'm still an artist. I'm still a performer. I have my music. I still know and feel the same way. So it's better in those situations to have someone somewhat of a buffer. And yes, I'm aware of not overdoing it. I'm aware of it all. It's not easy. I want people to get all the attention they need as an artist. I just want to, in those situations, be an asset to them. You know, I don't want to take it all to me. It's basically you do one for yourself and two for them. Like,
smart.
But yeah, it's common sense, man. You know, you're on a TV. You have a role. I want to be a team player. I want to elevate the show, and I would never want to outshine anyone. You know, it's a team. Everyone should look good. And if I have a role of taking solos, and hey, that's okay. That's why I was hired. And but yeah, it's being sensible, man. Being sensitive to other people there. It's not easy. Listen, to both of you, it's not an easy gig. Any of it.
I have to really, play it down for Paul, just so I can make him look better.
Because I will throw tantrums like
I love that.
Yeah. You have no idea. Now, I bet you had just amazing stories. So, whenever, 50 years from now, when you're in the, senior citizen home, you're going to be the most popular guy talking about these stories. There was something called Spotify back in the day. But what are some of the most, I guess, exciting stories for you as far as the experiences you've had, either live, on tape, on tour? What's something that's so special for you?
You know what? I guess I had a few different occasions where I felt really, wow, this, just I felt like a lot of gratitude, just I guess life keeps you humble too. I'm not gonna lie. My relationship with my life and life in general is that life is my teacher, my mentor. I don't have a mentor per se. Unfortunately, my mom is not here, sort of paving the way for me as far as a musician or entertainment. So I take life as the teacher. But said that, I just one really cool one. I was playing at the Wembley Arena with Pink, and once I got off the stage, I saw Brian May from Queen. He was walking to me to say that he really liked my playing, and I hung out with him. And I mean, I'm just saying, I'm a huge Queen fan as a kid. And
who isn't? One of the best bands.
So one of those things, just Dave Navarro, on the show, just live on the show, taking the attention out of a contestant to give you a praise. It's not something I was asking for. If anything, I had no angles, no. I wasn't one of those guys weaseling me into the gigs. I was being genuine, and for some reason I found myself in those shows. There's a lot of stories. I mean, there's a lot of good ones and some bad ones, and some stories that I can't even tell you, but maybe on another occasion.
Is it My Big Break After Dark podcast?
I would love to do that one if you guys would have me,
Love to.
And we'll just turn the lights out right now.
Yeah. We're going to have Rafael 2.0
That would
coming
be
up next time. Are there any funny ones that you can share then? Maybe they're PG-13, but something that is kind of humorous that you could.
Oh man, I'm thinking. I don't. Nothing comes to mind. Had a lot of we spend a lot of time touring, so there's a lot of B-rolls, like a lot of crazy, and I'm probably gonna keep some of that to a book maybe one day. It would be
There
nice to
you
talk
go.
about it. There's a lot of crazy stuff, you know, because I toured a lot with Christina and Pink and Paul Stanley, and it gets a little crazy, but I don't
So
know if I want to share it.
how about on all the tours you've been on, what's the most drunk tour you've ever been?
Not you personally. We're talking in general.
Yeah, let's
Not.
keep it there.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a couple situations where I had to throw up out of the van,
Oh, while
going not going to sleep, just you know, staying up all night and getting my stuff in my room and getting into the van or the bus going into the airport and not feeling well, you know. I mean, Pink's tour was always a lot of fun. We hung out together. It was a crazy times. The Backstreet Boys and New Kids, you can imagine.
oh, well, boys.
And listen, it was great for me to play with Pink and Christina. Christina was before and after Pink, but with Pink, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about, not that I ever been disrespectful, but just she's more of a girl power thing. I mean, the band is always co-ed, boys and girls. So I learned to respect others. I'm a little bit of a, I like playing around a lot. I make a lot of jokes, and I draw caricatures. And listen, I don't want to get into this, but I learned how to respect a lot more people and the differences, and because of Pink and everybody. So it was really good for me, a learning curve there. You know,
a mom figure.
huh?
She's more of like a mom figure to the band. Or
Not really.
no?
Because no, I mean, she just knows what she thinks is right, and a lot of the times we're crazy, you know. She's dealing with boys, and we're like really.
She's like a bouncing figure. Then, if you don't do it right,
It was great. It's great, like really good. You know, it was a lot of fun. It's just that we had to be a little nicer because she's a girl, and there was girls in the band, and it was a lot of fun learning from. But going back to the boy tours, with the boys, Backstreet Boys and New Kids, which was after post Pink. One of those guys would throw a VIP party every night after a show. One of the guys. So after the show, you would go to a club in Berlin or Adelaide, you know, and 300 girls from the show are there. So it gets out of hand. I mean, like,
wow, you know, that's kind of like our podcast. If I open the door, there's no telling how many girls are there. But so I can't relate.
I'm just saying, man, like watching those guys go dance every night. I have respect for those guys. I mean, that's all they do. They go dance all night, and there's 20,000 girls every night screaming. I'm like playing guitar. I'm like, this is so bizarre.
Those are kids.
I love music. I don't do it because of.
Right.
I love music. I want to sing songs that mean something to me, and it's a little different.
Say no.
You go dance too, didn't you?
Yeah.
No, I was amused. I kind of liked it. It's like, wow, this is kind of cool.
I bet.
It's great. It's a great attention, you know.
Yeah.
YOLO. Right?
That's right. So this is something I'm curious about. And it's not so much the music, which is the reason why you do that. But whenever you're traveling and the band says, hey, this is the food we want in our dressing room, or the drinks and so forth, do they let you choose? Or are they like, hey, Rafael, this is what we're getting. You either take it or leave it? Because
no,
I want to be famous. It's the free food.
They ask you what you like, you know. I mean, I've been fortunate to be on good tours. So everyone has different experiences. My tours were always good, and great hotels, great everything. So, you know, they ask you what you like, and that's fine.
So I have a question. If you didn't go into music, what would be maybe a fallback if just the music industry didn't really take you?
I would probably be a soccer player or maybe a race car driver or
A race?
something intense or like sports related. I love
That has
sports.
a lot of girls still following.
Yes,
Soccer and race car
soccer, yeah.
drivers. Yes.
Yeah, the nice little.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not like that. Oh my God, so bad.
Oh,
I
no.
love sports.
Mhm.
No, it's true. It's yeah. I'm still single, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. Attention, ladies.
Yeah.
300
no.
ladies standing outside the door. He's still single.
Oh my God.
And you could serenade them, you know, a different girl with a different guitar.
Mhm.
And so that way it's not like you're cheating. You know, each girl gets a different
You
guitar
can gift
song.
them.
Yes.
You can gift them with your music and a guitar.
We didn't know this podcast was going to take this turn either, Rafael.
I know.
We had no clue.
Oh my God, man. I'm like laughing.
I am the red one right there. Can I put that red one?
She's a beautiful guitar, right?
It is. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Now, what's behind that one? As far as like the story.
Not a wall.
Guitar, Gibson. It was a gift from Gibson, and I play that guitar a lot with Paul Stanley. A lot of soul music. He's doing soul music now, and we're doing a new record. He has a new band called Paul Stanley Soul Station, and it's all soul music, and that's the guitar I play with, that I choose to. It's really cool. I love soul music. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. 13-piece band, and we were in Japan maybe a year or two ago doing 12 shows, and we're doing a full-on album right now. I mean, he's on tour with Kiss, so every time he's in LA, we're recording and getting the album done. So that's kind of like the guitar I like using for that.
So do you have a recording studio in your place?
Yeah, that's where I am.
Oh,
right
okay.
now. Yeah, it's crazy
Oh,
here.
cool. Getting a tour.
Some amps there,
Oh, wow.
more amps there.
Oh my God.
Does he come to your studio to record or do you go to his?
No, we go to a really cool studio. I went to his house to record some vocals, some BVs, but mostly most of the recordings are done in a professional studio where it can accommodate everyone, and horns, and it's so cool. It's a lot of fun.
I bet that's fun. Now, you're in the industry, but as a fan of these other artists, do you collect autographed guitars or anything memorabilia that is special to you?
Not really. I'm not a huge. I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan to go after people, and I'm not. I'm a bit shy that way. I met Brian May, and I was a little bit like, whoa, it's never going to change. Even with Paul Stanley, he's never going to change.
Is this why you're still single?
Huh?
Shy.
I don't know about that.
Oh, okay. So you're not shy when it comes to ladies.
No, I mean, if I met the right one, yeah, I'll definitely, I like relationships. It's nice.
That's good.
So
I just don't like it to have the wrong person with me, because that's creates a little stress and drama for both parties.
And you have enough stress and drama whenever you're playing with somebody else.
I can be by myself. I love it. It's okay. Like, I don't feel like I need somebody to feel that, the space.
Well, relationships, I would think, would be really, a lot of pressure whenever you are on tour, just having to appease a woman and also being on tour. I mean, a lot of women can sometimes be a little more possessive.
When you're with somebody that is in alignment with you, it's good. It's a lot of fun. I love it. And
so you can take him on tour anytime.
Yeah, she loves being alone all the time.
No, I do like being in a relationship. You fly a girl out, you don't go out for 3 months. It's a couple of weeks here and there. So it's not terrible or anything. And I'm not always on tour. I do TV shows in town, or I do commercial work, and I'm always writing my music. So
and even movie trailers for Transformers, I see.
Yeah, I was writing some stuff for those guys, and you know, if I'm approached by, I love writing, so yeah, let's go for it. And yeah, I've done some different things.
That's cool. And you've even done, again, just about every daytime and nighttime talk show you've been on. Who is probably one of the more entertaining hosts that you've had a chance to meet? You know, Conan, Kimmel, Fallon, Stanley.
I really like Letterman. Letterman was it. Letterman made fun of me when I did a show with Pink, and
What'd he do?
I don't know why, but when he came in and shook Pink's hand, he shook her hand and looked. How does he get this job? And made fun of me because I wasn't even looking at him. I was like high-fiving the drummer. I was like, he was making fun of me. He was playing with me, and I loved that. I was like, he gets it, you know. Such a cool guy. It's like such a classic. I always liked Letterman, how he had fun with his guests, you know. He was great at it, man.
Was Paul Shaffer on Letterman at the time when you were there?
Yes, the whole band, Will Lee on bass and Anton Fig on drums. Those guys recorded one of my favorite albums of all times. They did drums and bass for Ace Frehley's 1978 album when all Kiss members put out a solo album. And that rhythm section from the old Letterman show is the rhythm section in that album that I grew up with.
Never would have known.
No, I know. I didn't either.
I know, but you see, as a musician, I love the credits on the records. I love seeing who recorded. That's, you see, people make it seem like you're replaceable, but you're not. Mm-hmm. You're not. It's never going to be the same. That energy is so good, you know, when it's good, and people should respect that, you know. And it's like nobody cares, but it's true. You talk about older Jamiroquai, for example. There was a bass player in that band that was great. I hung out with JK in England, but I'm saying that bass player in that band was amazing. Had a sound, a vibe. It's not because the band is about JK, you go replace that bass player. It's not going to be the same. It's not. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nobody like you guys at all in the universe.
Thank goodness.
And that's such a cool thing. You can never be cloned. And like, you got to respect chemistry and what happens when those parts come together. And it's a shame that people don't care.
That, or they miss out on the opportunity. You have a very good point, a great point. That is true. You know, we're not all equal. We're all different.
Yes, but you talk about like a band that we all love. Mm-hmm. And then 3 members are having a problem with someone. I get it. That someone might be dealing with a drug problem or a family issue. We all get it. Mm-hmm. But it's not just the money. It's not. And I can promise you that. We want to see that one piece with everyone. It's important for the sound. It's important for the message. And so I don't think it's you can replace everything, you know. It's like Zeppelin. They totally stopped when John Bonham died, the drummer. They knew it was over. They couldn't replace the guy. And I like that too. I wouldn't mind seeing them live now with Jason, the son. I would love to see it. But at that time, I think they knew it, and I love that. I love that we have that importance as
commodities,
individuals. You know, we are individuals. We're very unique, and it's too bad that we don't have the credits to read, because I love it.
What's great is he hasn't picked up a guitar, and you can see the passion and feel the passion just from your facial expressions and talking to you. This has been so much fun, just getting to learn the passion behind the music. Mm-hmm. And I'm even popping things out of my head. I'm so excited about this. What is next for Rafael?
I'm actually, as we speak, I'm working on a new single from my band Magnetico, which is a trio. I sing and play. We were just on the Kiss cruise for the 4th time. We have 2 albums out. So I'm finishing up a new single. I'm just finishing my vocals, and I'm excited about it. It's super rocking music, but it's adventures as well. It's very different, a little progressive, you know, it goes places musically. And so I'm excited about that. And I have this acoustic material that I'm working on that I want to maybe release 3 different projects coming from me that are totally unrelated in style, right?
Yeah.
This year, which is, it comes from the same source, which is myself, but they're different. One isn't more of an acoustic vibe. Let me just play it for you guys. I don't know if you can hear what, but like stuff like stuff like that.
Man, that's good. Just that quick.
That is more of like a folk Brazilian. I would like to do another instrumental record, which would bring my guitar playing, you know, to the front again, which I did back in 06 or 05, called Acid Guitar. So I like music. I like being involved and creating. And this year I might want to release 3 different things simultaneously. You know, why not?
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
No cap. Yeah.
You know, well, if you ever need somebody to maybe play kazoo on your album, let me know, and I'll take some lessons. Or cowbell. There you go.
I know where to find, man. You're in.
Yes, nailed that audition, honey. Thank you so much for taking your time. And I loved listening to you play. And whenever album 1, 2, and 3 of this year comes out, please let us know. We want to make sure that we share it with all of our listeners, and that way they can enjoy more Rafael.
I appreciate you guys' time, and thanks so much for having me, man. It's been a lot of fun. I had a great time. So
we did too.
The music. I want to be serenaded now.
Anytime. You guys just let me know. I'll come.
Oh yeah, we will. We're gonna give him a call and we're like, hey, I can't go to sleep. I need some relaxing music, if you don't mind.
Definitely. Anytime, man.
You're the best. Well, thank you so much for being on apparently our dating game and our podcast. We had a blast with you.
We can leave your Tinder, you know, what is it, your Tinder address.
I don't have a Tinder account. I never go there. I'm embarrassed to do it. I don't know. I definitely got to get better at that. You know, I guess the game is online now.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's hilarious. I love it.
You were a blast. We would love to have you on anytime. And again, My Big Break Almost After Dark. Whenever you want to share those stories, you let us know too.
I love it, man. Let me know if I can share some of my online web, you know, the website and things like that. I don't know how.
100%. In fact, we're going to be putting it in our podcasts and our episodes. But anything you want us to share with your listeners and your fans, send it our way, and it's coming up.
Yeah.
Randy will definitely send you all the important links and stuff like that.
That would be awesome. Yeah. And she'll probably create your Tinder account for you, and we'll send it your way too.
Please. Yeah. That would be so awesome. I appreciate it.
I'll find you someone.
You just got to love Agent. Look out.
You know, seriously though, Oklahoma has some of the prettiest girls and some of the sweetest ones. So
I would love to meet a native. Yeah.
You come to Oklahoma and look us up. We'll hook you up.
All right, man. Great talking to you guys.
Too. Thank you so much. And can't wait for album number 1 of 3. Thanks, Rafael.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ciao. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right. Even though he only played for like 15 seconds, that was so cool. I mean, just to pick up a guitar like that and be able to just, you know, he didn't have to tune it up or anything.
I thought it was really special.
I like that a lot.
I felt special.
Well, he was singing to me, but still,
I hope everyone felt special.
Yeah, I hope you did.
Because we're sharing it all with you.
That's right. He could have played that for like an hour, and we didn't even have to ask questions. I would have been fine with that.
Just give me a pillow and a bed.
Yeah.
Because, well, maybe it didn't make me fall asleep. Maybe I should have said that. Not.
Yeah, it wasn't boring. It was relaxing though, because the acoustic tune.
It gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, that was neat. I was really selfishly hoping he would have picked up another guitar and said, here's my second album, and here's what the third one's going to be, because I really wanted to find out what else was coming.
Well, there were so many questions in my mind that I wanted to ask him. We just ran out of time. So, and I know he already promised another podcaster that, you know, he had a date with them. So I didn't think we could get a date with him.
Their date was in April. We're going to get one. We have his number. We know how to stalk. We're going to do that. If you guys want to listen to him again, because I know that we do,
just push replay.
It's going to sound a little similar, but I think you'll enjoy it just as much the second time.
It's like watching a movie. You know, you've missed a few parts, so you got to go back and, you know, rewatch it.
I agree. So just push play. We need the extra downloads. So maybe 5 or 6 times.
Maybe while you're at it, push subscribe too.
Please. And if you only subscribe once, that's all we need. You don't have to do it a second time. For good measure, maybe.
Yeah, just once. Yeah. Once is all we need.
Hopefully we'll have more musical guests on. Yes. Really, really love the sincerity that he had. Mm-hmm. And so it gives you some hope for the industry to know that these people really do have a passion, and it's not about the fame and the money. It's really about the art.
Yes. And he's so young. He started so young. I wanted to ask him how old he is. I could probably find that out on Wikipedia or something.
He's 3 years younger than me. So he's about 45 years old. He looks a lot younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. It's doing a podcast. It ages you.
Mm-hmm. It does.
I hope you guys enjoyed it like we did. Really had a good time.
Yes, we'd love your feedback too. Please leave us a comment. And there also in our description box, of course, we are going to put everything that has to do with Rafael. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Rafael.
Yes, Rafael. And where you can find him, where you can listen to his music, just whatever he wants us to, you know, give to you, we'll give to you.
That's right. So all the fans, we're giving it to you.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. My big break almost. We'll see you next week.